Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the really high-stakes world of online gambling entrepreneurship. I mean, if you've even glanced at this space, the market size, it's just impossible to ignore. Projections are hitting something like, what, $127 billion by 2027? It's huge.
It really is. And that kind of growth, well, it naturally attracts entrepreneurs. But the traditional barrier, building that secure, compliant, global platform from zero, monumental.
Right. Which brings us to today's mission, understanding these turnkey online casino solutions, how they basically flip the script, letting operators, jump straight into the market.
It's a fascinating shift, truly. The bottleneck isn't so much the tech anymore. It's more about the strategy, choosing the right partner, because you're not just buying software. You're essentially buying into an infrastructure for a licensed financial operation. Reminds me of that advice from Roman K at Bet Devil.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
He said, don't chase the cheapest option. Look for partners who think 3 steps ahead. That really hits the nail on the head, I think.
Thinking 3 steps ahead. That definitely changes the perspective. Okay, so let's nail down this term. Turnkey solution. What exactly are we talking about?
Simply put, it's a complete, ready-to-launch gambling platform. Pre-built infrastructure, battle-tested, giving you access to years of industry knowledge right off the bat.
Okay, so it's comprehensive. Not just a piece of software, but as you said, battle-tested. So what makes up this system? What are the, essential parts?
You have to picture it as buying a whole digital casino ecosystem, really. The foundation is always the gaming platform itself with a robust backend. That's your control center.
Makes sense. And obviously, you need the games, right? That's what brings players in.
Absolutely critical. An extensive game library is key. Hundreds of slots, table games, live dealer options from the big, reputable developers. Without good content, players just won't stick around.
Okay, platform, games. What about the nuts and bolts? Money and identity. That seems crucial for trust.
Hugely crucial. So integrated payment processing is a must. Needs to handle multiple currencies, different methods, cards, e-wallets, maybe even crypto now. And tied to that, sophisticated player management tools. This has to include solid Know Your Customer KYC verification and anti-money laundering AML systems. Built in, ready to go.
Yeah, those regulatory bits are absolutely non-negotiable, aren't they? And what about attracting and keeping players? Marketing tools.
Definitely. Advanced marketing features are standard in good solutions. The bonus engines, affiliate tracking systems, tools to create tournaments and promotions.
Right. And it all has to work flawlessly on phones, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. Mobile optimization is paramount. Most traffic is mobile. Plus, you need top-tier enterprise-level security and fraud prevention. You're guarding player funds, player data. The stakes are high.
Wow. So yeah, a truly effective turnkey solution is basically instant operational capability, soup to nuts.
Exactly. And once an entrepreneur gets their head around what's included, they hit this big strategic fork in the road: speed and lower cost, or total control and deep customization. Which leads us to the 2 main models. First up is the white label solution. This is really the most accessible entry point. You're essentially renting and putting your brand on an existing, fully operational, often pre-licensed infrastructure.
Okay, so the big benefit there is speed, right? Lower cost too.
Precisely. Lower initial investment, you're looking at maybe $10,000 to $50,000 typically, and incredibly fast market entry, sometimes just 2 to 4 weeks.
2 to 4 weeks to launch a casino. That sounds almost unbelievable for a startup, but what's the catch? Sharing infrastructure must have downsides.
It does. The trade-offs are pretty significant. Customization and branding flexibility are restricted. Your site might look quite similar to others using the same provider. And crucially, you're paying ongoing monthly licensing fees. Those can eat into your profit margins over time. You end up competing more on service and marketing than unique features.
Okay, so white label is fast, but potentially limiting long term. What's the other option?
That would be the custom turnkey approach. This is all about differentiation. It's tailored, often extensively, to your specific market, your regulatory needs, your unique business model.
Ah, so this is where you get control.
Complete control, dedicated infrastructure, full say over the features, the development roadmap. You can integrate unique tech, build a really distinct player experience. This gives you the best shot at standing out.
But I'm guessing the price tag reflects that control.
Oh, massively. While white label might start around $10, custom solutions, they generally start at $50,000 and can easily blow past $200,000 just for setup. And launch times stretch, think 2 to 6 months, maybe longer. It's a much bigger commitment.
That's a huge difference. And you see this reflected in what different providers charge too, right? Like the range is pretty wide depending on who you go with.
Absolutely. You've got providers like, say, BetDeval, advertising setups starting around $10K, maybe a bit more, promising launch in just a couple of days. That's maximum accessibility. But then you look at a premium player like SoftSwiss, their setup fees might start north of $35,000, especially for their top-tier enterprise support. The price really maps to the depth of features, the level of support, and crucially, the established compliance track record you're buying.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Choosing the tech model is one thing, but long-term success. That feels like it depends on more than just a quick launch. What defines real quality beyond setup day, especially avoiding, getting shut down by regulators?
You've hit on probably the most critical point. Long-term viability hinges entirely on compliance and trust. All our sources agree. Licensing and compliance support from your partner, that's paramount. A quality provider doesn't just hand over software. They actively help with license applications. They provide built-in regulatory tools.
We mentioned KYC and AML earlier, but it's the depth of that compliance framework that really matters, isn't it? And things like responsible gambling features, too.
Exactly right. It needs to be robust and proactive. Then, beyond compliance, the game portfolio quality is huge for keeping players engaged. You absolutely need games from the top-tier developers, NetGent, Microgaming, Pragmatic Play, those kinds of names, and supporting those big, progressive jackpot networks. That's key for attracting serious, high-value players.
Makes sense. Players chase the big wins. And what about getting money in and out? That seems like a major friction point if it's not smooth.
Oh, it's massive for player satisfaction. Payment integration needs to be super flexible. Support traditional banking, definitely e-wallets like Skrill or Neteller, and increasingly crypto options. Plus, you need local payment methods for your specific target markets. And maybe most importantly, withdrawals need to be fast and reliable. Players absolutely hate waiting for their winnings.
It really does all circle back to the player's actual experience, doesn't it? I like how Roman K put it. What was it? In reality, it's the player. Their journey, convenience, emotions, and experience.
That's it. A technically flawless platform means nothing if the player journey feels clunky or if they don't trust the operation. That experience is everything.
Okay, so that player journey rests on a really solid legal and financial structure.
Huh.
Let's dive into the licensing side more because this seems to dictate so much cost, credibility, market access.
It really does. Generally, you can think of licenses in roughly 3 tiers based on the jurisdiction, and choosing your tier is a major strategic decision. Tier 1 are the premium licenses. Think Malta Gaming Authority, the MGA, which is key for EU markets, or the UK Gambling Commission. These demand the highest standards, biggest financial reserves, they're the most stringent, but they offer unmatched credibility.
Right, the gold standard. So why wouldn't everyone go for Tier 1? Why do we see so many operators using, less reputable licenses? Is it just cost?
Cost is a huge factor, but also speed and ease of setup. That leads us to Tier 2. These strike more of a balance. Moderate requirements, moderate costs, often a faster route to market. Curacao e-gaming is probably the most common example here globally. Conoway Gaming Commission is another. They're functional, widely accepted, but don't carry the same weight as MGA or UKGC.
Okay, and then there's Tier 3.
Tier 3 licenses, yeah. Places like Anjouan or Belize, these have the lowest barriers to entry. They're the most budget-friendly to obtain, but your market access is often limited, and the regulatory reputation is, frankly, much lower.
This feels like where that thinking 3 steps ahead advice really comes into play. Choosing between Tier 1 and Tier 3 isn't just about the initial fee.
Not at all. You're not just paying MGA fees for a certificate, you're paying for access. Access to better banking relationships, payment processors who trust your license, advertising networks that won't touch lower-tier operators. It's the cost of credibility and operational smoothness down the line.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's talk full financial picture. Beyond setup, what's a realistic first-year budget look like? For white label, you mentioned maybe 10-50K setup. What's the all-in year 1?
For a white label, a realistic first-year operating budget, including marketing and everything, might range from, say, $85,000 up to maybe $400,000. It depends heavily on marketing spend and license costs.
And for custom, with that higher setup cost?
Yeah, the jump is significant. For a custom solution, you're probably looking at $200,000 on the low end for year 1, easily scaling up to $1 million or even more, especially if you're ambitious with marketing and features.
And the costs don't stop after year 1, obviously. Those monthly fees, Platform licensing, game provider fees, they add up, right?
They definitely do. Platform licenses might run $3,000 to $10,000 a month. Game providers take a cut, maybe another $2,000 to $8,000 or based on revenue share. Payment processing takes a percentage, maybe 5%. But the really big ongoing variable is marketing. Often 15% to 30% of your revenue goes right back into acquiring and retaining players.
Wow, that's substantial. But the flip side is the potential revenue, I guess.
Exactly. That's the lure. Successful operators, if they execute well, could be seeing $200,000 to $1 million in monthly revenue by the end of their first year and scaling from there. Year two could potentially see $500,000 to $5 million plus monthly. That potential for massive scale is why people take on these significant upfront and ongoing costs, assuming, of course, flawless execution.
Okay, flawless execution, that's the key phrase. So assuming you've got the tech sorted, what are the common things that actually derail these ventures beyond just, bad marketing?
Well, number one is just the sheer intensity of competition. There are thousands of online casino brands out there. You absolutely need a unique value proposition. Just launching another generic site, it's incredibly tough.
Right, standing out is hard. And keeping up with the rules, that sounds like a massive ongoing chore.
It is. Regulatory compliance isn't a one-time thing. Rules change constantly across different markets. It demands continuous vigilance, good legal advice. It's a constant operational overhead.
And getting players in the door, you mentioned marketing costs.
Yeah.
Are acquisition costs going up?
Relentlessly. Relying just on affiliates or just on paid search. That's risky. Smart operators need diverse strategies, SEO, social media, strong affiliate partnerships, but also, crucially, really data-driven retention campaigns. Keeping players is cheaper than constantly finding new ones.
Makes sense. And payments again? Is that still tricky, getting banks to cooperate?
It remains a challenge, yeah. Financial institutions often view gambling transactions as high risk. So, maintaining relationships with multiple payment processors, offering diverse options like crypto, it's essential for stability. You can't afford to have your main payment channel shut down. Now, looking ahead, this is where things get really interesting. The future trends shaping the industry. AI is becoming huge.
Beyond just chatbots, you mean?
Oh, way beyond. AI is revolutionizing personalization, tailoring game suggestions, bonuses, the whole experience. Plus, it's getting incredibly sophisticated at fraud detection and even predictive analytics for responsible gaming, identifying problem behavior early.
Interesting. And crypto, is that just about taking Bitcoin payments?
It's evolving beyond that, too. Blockchain tech enables things like provably fair gaming, where players can actually verify game outcomes themselves. We're seeing integration with decentralized finance, DeFi, even NFT-based loyalty rewards. It's opening up new models.
And what about the player experience itself? VR or AR, is that actually happening?
It's starting to. Things like immersive VR poker rooms, more engaging virtual casino environments. It's still early days for mass adoption, but the potential is there. But maybe the most immediate trend is this hyper-focus on mobile first. We're seeing a push towards progressive web apps, PWAs, which feel like native apps but run in the browser, super fast, touch-optimized interfaces, even some exploring offline gameplay features where regulations allow.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the core takeaway for you, the potential entrepreneur listening to this?
I think the fundamental decision point remains that choice between white label and custom. It has to align realistically with your budget, yes, but also with your long-term ambition for how you want to compete and differentiate in the market.
And it's clear that just picking the tech isn't enough for success, is it?
Not even close. Success absolutely demands rigorous, ongoing adherence to regulatory requirements. It demands a genuine commitment to responsible gambling practices that builds trust. And it requires constantly adapting to what players want and expect.
So turnkey solutions have definitely lowered the barrier to launching an online casino. They've democratized that initial step. But it seems the real winners, the ones who build sustainable businesses, are those who skillfully combine that technology with sharp business practices, operational excellence, and, integrity.
Absolutely. You need the tech, but you also need the trust and the smarts.
Which leaves us with maybe a final thought for you to mull over. If these turnkey partners have largely solved the technical challenge of getting started, is the true competitive battleground now less about launch speed and more about the sustained, often expensive, commitment to credibility, operational discipline, and actually earning that long-term player trust?
It's a good question. Buying infrastructure versus really investing in a future. Food for thought. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.